quick one for this morning. So we had massive manipulation on New York last night, high volume, people trying to get into the market, get their orders filled. And then we have the pullback to liquidity, and then getting acceptance above that. So there's still that 4-hour liquidity mark around here. Don't pay attention to this 4-hour liquidity at the moment because it wasn't relevant to here. But yeah, they seemed, I'll go to the 5-minute. Didn't seem like liquidity wanted to sweep, price wanted to sweep liquidity in here again. And then we get acceptance out of the bottom. What else? We get the 50% rule as well for a reversal on a pivot too. Not here, but in here we do. So interesting. What else? Then we have high volume liquidity put in at the top, and then getting 50% test, 50% test again prior to pre-Asia on 8 o'clock. Then we get the sell-off, and then we get 4-hour liquidity in here. We get a 50% test. So I am suspecting it will go lower, or even a 50% test of this wick in here for confirmation. But it looks like it's in accumulation at the moment prior to the new month. So good news is higher lows. Don't know about that. This is getting better again. Yeah, higher low, higher low, higher low, higher low. So high closes, what I'm trying to say. So magnet is developing monthly val. That's really the goal. As I stated yesterday, if not, then probably go down to monthly liquidity, I'd say. And then weekly support. So there's a lot of, so it'll take out all this weekly liquidity in here. I'm pretty sure that's listed as weekly, yeah. So I'll traverse all this in here. But it seems more accumulation than anything on the 4-hour. Go to the daily. So that 59K close, the weekly close, is really the big one. So we'll see how that goes. Weekly FEG as well. Yeah, I mean, I am still optimistic, but it's one of those things you just have to be cautious. And then we're stacking closes on the developing monthly val. So it's probably a good indication of where people want price to go. So we'll see nonetheless. What else? Whoop. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Anyway, but that is the story thus far today. We'll go to the 3-hour. Yeah, I'm suspecting lower probably, unless we get acceptance here. Oh, we do. Or maybe not. Are we? Are we going to get a bull div? Maybe, maybe not. Go to the 30-second. Looks like it's a green. Interesting. Maybe we do get rotation. Having a look quickly on Binance. Positive delta, we've got the VPOC there. Can't hold it though. So I'd say it'll probably sweep this again and become a mousetrap probably. Which are we getting? We go to perps. We got finished auction imbalance in the bottom. Maybe it won't. And we'll go to Bybit. So it's not looking promising. I will say that. Anyway, yeah, that's the story. What in the top for that manipulation as well? When was that? 10 o'clock. So finished auctions on perps. Oh, there we go. So we get huge volume, 4.5 billion. So that's really the indication coming out of that manipulation here. Down 1.25, 1.17 in the bottom finished auction. And then we get huge volume going up as well to the top until volume starts to significantly taper off in the top. And then people are not wanting to run it any higher. And then we rotate back down with huge volume until we come to the bottom here. And then we get huge volume for reversal. So people buying up again. What did that look like on Binance? Nothing crazy, honestly. It's more the liquidations that I'd be looking at, that I'd be viewing. Especially in the bottom here. Finished auctions would be the tell. So what did we get here? I think we're getting acceptance with, maybe acceptance with price. We'll see. Bybit. If I can do this properly. Finished auctions. So Bybit sometimes gives better tells, especially stack open and closes. Finished auctions around here. Not really P-shaped profile. And then volume kind of dying off here. So you'd be like, oh, this is not good. What's going on with the volume? Where you had it back here, there's no volume anymore. And then you significantly ramp it up again. So yeah, what about in that bottom of the manipulation, finished auction, huge liquidations. It's not as clear as Binance though. So yeah. Anyway, that's pretty much it for today. We're still holding on 4-hour liquidity. We'll see if we get a reversal off it. We'll go to 3 minutes. No. So, I mean, I'm optimistic to a point, but I mean, RSI on the 30-minute is just pretty much just ranging. What about the hour? Really no rotation, no crazy rotation, but you'd expect more positive. We're gaining strength. What about 4-hour? We're gaining strength as well. So accumulation range, probably push through and get acceptance in developing monthly val coming into the new month tomorrow. That's what I would expect. Otherwise, there's going to be a huge cascade of price coming into the new month again. But considering the huge sell-off that we had at the start of July, I suspect that there won't be, like, that's the new month, 20%. How far have we pulled back? 21%. So my thinking would be that that doesn't happen, and we have acceptance for a price to rotate back up and test this. But we'll see. It looks like we're getting a rotation now. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but it looks like that's what's going to happen. So we're on Binance. So we're forming strength here. What else? I think it'll be perps that are driving it, honestly. Yeah, finished auctions. They're just stacking it on the 50% of that 4-hour liquidity. So that was a good entry. But as I said, hang on, I'll go to the 4-hour. Yeah. So 50% of this wick got tested. The thing is, it's like you get 50% of this and then 50% of this. So is it going to be an inside day? What's going to happen? I don't know. But you could go as well. I should have put that in. I kind of haven't been with it today. So 4-hour support, put in the middle. And then lock that as well. Yep, that's locked. I mean, I'm not optimistic still. I'll just put it that way. But, I mean, if we can push up to about here, that's where I'd be looking for price to move around here. But, yeah. Anyway, I'll leave it at that. I've been going on for nearly 15 minutes, so hope this explains a little bit. And I hope you guys are ready for the new month. Obviously be conservative with risk and position size. If a entry does present itself, particularly with 4-hour liquidity, obviously take it because there is much higher probability with that entry with the 50% rule. And then if you have other factors stacking on top of that, then obviously take advantage as well. So, but yeah, before I go, we'll go to the 1 hour and we'll see what we have here. So what else? We don't really have separation of developing weekly and previous day at the moment, obviously, because it's just in the new day. So that has to, it has to mature. Previous week VWAP to target, previous week val. It's also support, but yeah. Developing monthly VWAP up here. Now that's an interesting one. Seems we're getting acceptance with the 50% rule on 4-hour liquidity, so you could, and we just got one test of it there. So say 0.29%, 0.3%. We'll see. I would expect at least a test of the daily VWAP, if not daily value area high, and then for rotation back down again. But maybe not. Maybe they have other ideas. So yeah. But before I go, you can see the accuracy of the 4-hour liquidity on the 1 minute as well. So really holding to that 50%. And then you could say, so all this coming into here, and then you get the 50% test on the on the 1 minute. I don't know if I have 1 minute liquidity. Yes, I do. And then you get 1 minute liquidity testing at 50% as well. So you get the 4-hour and then the 1 minute. So now we're getting rotation top side. So yeah. Anyway, that's the story. Hope it helps. Be mindful of tomorrow. And yeah, good, happy hunting. And just take things conservatively and it should work out.